Maintaining law and order over a galaxy is a tough job. As such, the Galactic Empire had to employ a number of unique starships to fulfill different roles. The Cantwell-class Arrestor Cruiser was brought about by the Department of Imperial Justice, in collaboration with the Imperial Navy. The idea behind the class of starship was to use powerful tractor beam projectors to ensnare suspect vessels and bring them in for closer inspection. But what is the story behind this unique class of starship? In today's Star Wars Starships breakdown, we'll explore the legacy of the ship. Greetings my young Padawans, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Star Wars Now. Before we jump into the video, use the force and hit that subscribe and like button to never miss a video from myself and the team here at Star Wars Now. As always, if you're talking about Star Wars, we want to hear about it. The Cantwell-class Arrestor Cruiser was a warship used by the Galactic Empire during the Dark Times era, with the ship at least being active by 13 BBY, at least 6 years into the reign of the Galactic Empire. Cantwell-class ships were utilised and designed to capture any starship that was deemed suspicious. During such an operation, the ship could activate its tractor beams from at least 3 clicks away, keeping a safe distance from its prey. If it caught a ship, it could reel in or keep it at a safe distance to keep traffic away from construction zones, or to destroy its prey with its arsenal of weaponry. The ship follows somewhat the typical Imperial ship design, with its triangular frame, grey hull, in keeping with the Empire's preference for a starship look, and a bridge at the rear dorsal side of the hull. This bridge, however, did not seem to have the typical standard deflector shield generator domes, but did have an array of communication systems on top of the bridge. However, the way the Arrestor Cruiser differed from other Imperial ships was that its triangle hull was very narrow at the front, and a triangle hull from the rear went in reverse, with the larger side facing forward as opposed to backwards. The smaller side facing backwards were 3 engines sat. The ship would have a primary hyperdrive rating of Class 2, but in case of damage, the backup hyperdrive could be utilised with a Class 12 backup installed. This gave the Arrestor class a unique silhouette in the Empire. Another unique feature of the Cantwell class was its 3 RT-17 repulsor tractor beam emitters, with one at the very front and 2 at the side of a secondary triangle hull at the rear. These tractor beam emitters were the main function of this class of vessel, used for capturing other starships, be they pirates, rebels, or anyone unlucky enough to cross paths with the Empire. The tractor beam emitters would usually utilise a force of tractor force 2 on smaller vessels, but could at least achieve a tractor force of 5 on larger or more unwillingly prey caught in its sights. It would not only be able to pull ships close to the vessel, but, as the name suggests, with repulsor tractor beam emitters, could repulse ships and keep them at a safe distance, and in perfect range for the ship's armaments. With its 3 turrets mounted twin heavy iron cannons near each emitter, to disable an enemy starship, allowing it to be easily captured or carved up by the fighter wing, or with 12 light laser cannons with 3 located at each cardinal direction of the ship. Now, the emitters themselves were not without their flaws, as due to their nature, they could be in danger of pulling in objects which could damage the dishes and cause them to be inoperable, a tactic used in countermeasures to such vessel if projectile weaponry was utilised. The ship would have a complement of other starships in 2 docking bays, located on its inverted triangle hull at the rear and facing forwards. The type of ship had 2 squadrons consisting of 24 starfighters, mostly TIE fighters and various landing craft and other utility starships. A ship of this class also carried TIE boarding craft for investigating ships it had captured and reeled in. Cantwell class would be able to have a crew of 2,770 officers, pilots and enlisted crew members, with a space of passengers and a contingent of at least 144 stormtroopers on board. The only interior location we see of the Cantwell class is the bridge, which, following standard Imperial design, had a forward-facing window for its commanding officers to look through, a hole in the centre of the room, aka the pit, which housed terminals and officers performing tasks to keep the ship operational, and rows of computer consoles on the sides of the bridge. While the Galactic Empire was young, officers within the Department of Imperial Justice and the Imperial Navy campaigned for a warship that would capture pirates, smugglers, or rebels effectively, so they could be tried publicly to help drum up support that the Empire was ensuring safety to its populace. This design was approved, and the contract was given to Q-Art Drive Yards, one of the Empire's biggest Imperial contractors for starships and vehicles. The project would undergo only 3 years of development and testing before the ship was commissioned into full active service. The ability to capture space traffic also made the vessel useful in protecting important shipping lanes or construction areas, ensuring that all vessels were in the correct place. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cantwell class could be deployed alongside interdictors, which could pull other vessels out of hyperspace due to the creation of artificial gravity wells. This would allow ships to be pulled out of hyperspace from the interdictor and captured by the Cantwell. The next time we see an Arrestor Cruiser was during 13 BBY, with the Arrestor Cruisers being utilised in recruitment films to help drive recruitment into the Imperial Navy. One such film was played at Coronet Spaceport on the planets of Corellia. 3 years after this, in 10 BBY, an Arrestor Cruiser was assigned to Picardy Academy for Imperial pilots, helping to train new pilots for the Imperial Navy. The ship would have Onyx Squadron, a squadron of TIE Brutes, which was a variant of the TIE Fighter. Han Solo would be a pilot in Onyx Squadron and would go on a mission to deal with pirate Z-95 fighters, but would be sentenced to a tribunal by landing his damaged ship in the cruiser's hangar bay and destroying other starfighters in the process. Nice going, Han. In 5 BBY, a Cantwell-class Arrestor Cruiser was under the command of Captain Elk, as part of a Segura Milo Imperial patrol. With partisan activity located near Segura Milo, namely Saw Gerrera's partisans, and a recent crackdown on insurgent activity due to the raid on Aldhani, as well as the passing of a public order resentencing directive by the Imperial Senate. Safe to say, the Arrestor Cruiser was deployed to keep law and order. The ship had managed to trap a Fondor hovercraft over Segura Milo belonging to Luthen Rail, a key figure of the early resistance against the Galactic Empire, though unaware as him and simply doing a routine patrol due to partisan activity. Luthen had given them a convincing fake transponder signal belonging to the Alderaan Trade Alliance, but the Imperials still decided to board the ship for practice, a mistake they would regret only moments later. Luthen managed to break away from a cruiser, utilising effective countermeasures like small projectile weaponry that could damage a Arrestor tractor beam emitter. Because of this attack, Elk deployed an air wing from the cruiser's docking bay, consisting of 3 TIE fighters and 1 TIE boarding craft. Unfortunately, these were destroyed by the hull craft, utilising effective mods of the hull craft like an auto turret to twin beam emitters. Following the damage to the Cantwell class, Luthen escaped, leaving the ship badly damaged and likely out of service for some time. As time passed and the Galactic Civil War broke out, sightings of the Cantwell class became rare. It would be wise to theorise that perhaps the Galactic Empire favoured using the Interdictor-class Star Destroyer, given it possessed gravity well projectors, allowing it to pull starships out of hyperspace.
Hyperspace calibration complete.
In terms of behind the scenes info, the Cantwell-class Arrestor Cruiser has an interesting history behind the camera and was originally developed by Colin Cantwell, who became a namesake of the Cantwell class. This design would be an original concept for the Imperial Star Destroyer, but was ultimately disregarded by George Lucas for the design we now know as the Imperial Star Destroyer. The design was originally called a Sith carrier and would launch Sith fighters. Instead of its dishes being tractor beam emitters, it would be super laser weapons to destroy various ships. The idea was eventually adapted into the main weapon of the Death Star, which Colin Cantwell contributed to. During Solo, a Star Wars Stories production, Cantwell's design was rediscovered when reviewing the archives at Lucasfilm, with Industrial Light and Magic then creating a CG model of the vessel for use in the film. However, its use in the film would be cut short in the final edit. We would only see interdeleted scenes and the propaganda film at Corellia. Eventually, this model would be used outright in Star Wars Andor, finally making it on screen after almost 45 years as a ship in the Imperial Navy. Cantwell's design has finally made it its proper way into Star Wars canon with the arrival of Andor Episode 11. The Arrestor Cruiser is seen on screen and featured heavily in trying to apprehend Luthen Rail and his Fondor Hallcraft. It's a fitting legacy for Colin, who sadly passed away this year in May 2022. Okay, Exalted Ones, that's it myself. What do you think of the Cantwell class? Does it fit within the Star Wars universe, and has Andor cemented it into Star Wars canon? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest Star Wars news, lore, and more. You can also follow us on social media as well, but make sure to let us know what you think in the video comment section below, because if you're talking Star Wars, we want to hear about it. That's it myself today on Star Wars Now. I've been Captain Jack, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.